Rimuru Tempest. Rimuru Tempest, Rimuru Tempesudo, is the main protagonist of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime and the reincarnation of Satoru Mikami. Appearance: Slime. In his regular form, Rimuru takes the appearance of a usually spherical and sometimes amorphous mass of slightly blue and translucent ooze. Initially, Rimuru's slime form has a diameter of around 40 centimeters. This increases to 70 centimeters after his evolution to demon slime and further increases to between 80 to 100 centimeters after his reincarnation to ultimate slime. Human. Rimuru's facial features in human form are nearly identical to those of Shizue Izawa, but his long silver hair and deep golden eyes give him an otherworldly divine beauty that sets the two apart. He can occasionally be seen wearing Shizu's mask or donning dragon-like wings. Initial. Rimuru's initial human form before consuming the orc disaster was that of a child that looked no older than 6 or 7. His hair was relatively short and he wore a simple outfit made of pelts before switching to his more iconic shirt, pants, and leather jacket combination. Demon Lord Seed. After consuming the orc disaster Geld, Rimuru gains another 10 centimeters in height and significantly longer hair, making him appear as a child around the age of 9. His primary outfit in this time period consists of loose black pants and a white and gold shirt, both woven from silk mixed with his own steel thread. Over top this he wears a thick black, blue in the anime and manga, jacket and a fur scarf, both made from the pelt of the direwolf boss. True Demon Lord. After his harvest festival and evolution into a demon slime, Rimuru gains another 10 centimeters in height, making him appear as a child around the age of 10 to 12. During this period his primary outfit consisted of black pants, a black and gold shoulderless shirt, his fur scarf, and a black haori with white accents down the sleeves. Ultimate Slime. After his evolution into a true dragon and subsequent reincarnation into an ultimate slime, Rimuru's human form is that of an androgynous albeit girly 15 to 16-year-old adolescent. His main outfit consists of black pants and a black sleeveless long shirt accented with white boots and white stripes respectively. His arms have black detached long sleeves with golden ornaments at the top as well as a golden collar piece around his neck. His white rope-like belt has a metal loop at the back for the purpose of tying his sword scabbard. He can also occasionally be seen wearing a cloak over top of this outfit. Additionally, Rimuru has been seen wearing a more casual version of this outfit with a more simple pair of overly baggy black pants and a white shirt in place of the originals. Personality. Rimuru is an eccentric and childish person by nature, but this shouldn't be mistaken for immaturity and naivety. Underneath the surface Rimuru is constantly analyzing, planning, and weighing the pros and cons of his actions, taking the smart move in the long term over more rash and emotional decisions. In stark contrast to this normally composed and calculative demeanor, he's absolutely ruthless when it comes to handling people who have angered him. He'll go as far as brutal torture and murder without batting an eye if he can get away with it, and uses more subtle methods like intimidation and blackmail when he can't. Rimuru also takes a great deal of care with his personal image, lying on official accounts, erasing memories, and creating forged historical documents to make him come off as a more kind and benevolent person than he actually is in reality. Despite his often selfish and nefarious tendencies, Rimuru does deeply care for his subordinates, viewing them as something like a family or collection of children. And thanks to the memories of Satoru Mikami and Shizue Izawa, Rimuru has access to a robust set of human ethics to rely on when his more cruel monster self isn't up to the task. His goal in life is to create a convenient world where he can kick back and lazily enjoy entertainment similar in quality to what is found on Earth. Skills. Ultimate skills. Azathoth, God of Void. Unification of Lord of Wisdom and Lord of Gluttony. Soul Consumption, a super-enhanced version of Predation Gluttony, which can devour the target's soul ignoring space-time. Imaginary Collapse, the ultimate destructive energy that fills the chaotic imaginary space and is able to be used at full efficiency thanks to the nucleus of Theosophy, Monas. Imaginary Space, a world of chaos. The ultra-evolved version of Stomach and Isolation with unlimited size. It's a prison where those who need to be quarantined are locked up. Space-time domination, manipulating and bending time and space to the user's will, being able to move in an instant just by consciously thinking about it. Even allows the user to interfere with time. Multidimensional barrier, absolute defense is achieved through the separation of spatial dimensions and several powerful barriers. Able to block anything the user can comprehend. True Dragon Release, Scorchstorm, TBA. True Dragon Nucleation, Scorchstorm, TBA. Shub Nigurath, Lord of Harvest. Core or essence of Uriel merged with all the skills gained via food chain. Skill creation allows the user to create brand new skills based on the information obtained from analysis and the user's desires. Skill duplication allows the user to recreate skills that they have a full analysis of. Skill gifting allows the user to grant skills to a target, assuming they're compatible. Skill storage stores the information of all analyzed skills so they can be recreated later. Raphael, Lord of Wisdom. Merged with Beelzebub to create Azathoth. Thought acceleration lets user extends their thoughts by up to 1,000,000 times. Analytical appraisal analyzes and assesses the target. Parallel processing operates on any matter the user wishes to analyze, separating it from the regular thought process. Any process under parallel processing is affected by mind accelerate and therefore sped up by 1,000,000 times. Chant annulment removes the need for a chant when using magic. All of creation allows the user to fully comprehend any non-concealed phenomenon as long as they have a certain amount of knowledge beforehand. Synthesize/separate, the ability to fuse and separate. Alteration allows the user to modify or even evolve skills under the right circumstances. Future attack prediction allows the user to see from a series of outcomes which is going to happen. The results that have been calculated have a 100% chance of occurring. Extra skills. Spatial motion, absorbed into spatial domination of Uriel. Allows the user the ability to freely connect two spaces provided they have been there before. Black flame, evolved into black flame lightning. Allows the user to freely manipulate black flames made of their internal magical energy. In the right hands the flames can reach several hundred degrees Celsius. Black thunder, evolved into black flame lightning. Allows the user to freely manipulate powerful black lightning. Magic aura. Allows the user to imbue magical properties into their aura to combine arts and magic. Control gravity, absorbed into law manipulation of Uriel. Allows the user to manipulate naturally existing gravity waves. Particle manipulation, evolved into magic manipulation. Allows the user the ability to manipulate virtually all physical matter via magicules. Replication, evolved into enhanced replication. Allows the user to create remote-controlled clones of themselves out of magic. The clones have the same strength and skills, except unique and ultimate skills, as the user, but they are significantly less durable and only have the amount of magicules supplied to them upon creation. Magic jamming, evolved into magic manipulation. Allows the user the ability to disrupt the motion of magicules in an extremely large area and makes using magicule-based abilities much more difficult for anyone other than the user. Magic manipulation, absorbed into law manipulation of Uriel. Allows the user the ability to directly interfere with someone else's magicules and disrupt their abilities and also dramatically improve the user's precision in manipulating magicules. Shadow motion, absorbed into spatial motion. Allows the user the ability to travel long distances by making use of the shadow subspace. Sticky steel thread, evolved into universal threads. Durable threads made out of the user's own body. Steel strength. Increases the physical strength of the user greatly. Strengthen body. Enhances all of the body's physical aspects. Ranged barrier. Allows the user to create a barrier in any shape they specify within range. Magic sense, absorbed into universal sense. Allows the user to observe the interactions between magicules and the matter around them to create a mental image of their surroundings. Sense sound waves, absorbed into universal sense. Allows the user to directly sense sound waves and hear even while deafened. Sense heat source, absorbed into universal sense. Allows the user to sense the heat radiating off living beings. Similar to infrared vision. Keen smell, absorbed into universal sense. Enhances the user's sense of smell greatly. Common skills. Telepathy. Allows the user to communicate mentally. Thought communication. A stronger version of telepathy that allows the user to directly share their thoughts and experiences with the targets. Its effective range is about 1 kilometer. Poisonous breath. Allows the user to unleash a corrosive poison breath attack. Paralyzing breath. Allows the user to unleash a paralyzing breath attack. Body armor. Allows the user to form a scaly armor around their entire body, or selectively, which is harder than steel. Ultrasonic waves. Allows the user to manipulate ultrasonic waves both as a weapon and for auditory communication. Resistances. Physical attack nullification. Tolerance type skill that grants very strong resistance to any types of physical attacks. Imbued into absolute defense or a layer of multi-layer barrier, doubling the resistance effect. Natural effects nullification. Tolerance type skill that grants very strong resistance to any types of natural phenomena, e.g. lightning, regardless of whether or not they are caused by magic or physics. Imbued into absolute defense or a layer of multi-layer barrier, doubling the resistance effect. Abnormal condition nullification. Tolerance type skill that grants very strong resistance to any types of abnormal condition. Imbued into absolute defense or a layer of multi-layer barrier, doubling the resistance effect. Spiritual attack nullification. Tolerance type skill that grants very strong resistance to attacks on the mind/spirit. Imbued into absolute defense or a layer of multi-layer barrier, doubling the resistance effect. Holy demonic attack resistance. Tolerance type skill that reduces effects of both holy and magical effects under a certain threshold to be negligible. Equipment. Unnamed katana. Legendary grade sword. Kurobe's masterpiece. It is expected to reach mythical grade soon. Unnamed Haori. Unknown grade. Rimuru's iconic black coat. Anti-magic mask. Magic item. Suppresses magicules. Demon Lord's ring. Magic item. Magic communication enchantment. Magic. True dragon species magic, unnamed. TBA. Storm magic. Death calling wind. Storm of destruction. Black lightning. Black fire. Scorch magic. TBA. Elemental magic. Nuclear strike magic. Legion magic. Completed transportation technique. Barrier magic. Anti-magic area. Space expansion barrier. Mind/mental magic. Illusion magic. Confusion. Channeling. Thoughtography. Magic communication. Engraving magic. Spatial magic. Dress change. Warp portal. Transportation. Fire magic. Fire. Fireball. Firewall. Firestorm. Explosion magic. Explosive fire magic. Explosive flames. Super high explosive flames. Wind magic. Wind cutter. Tornado blade. Water magic. Ice magic. Icicle lance. Icicle shotgun. Earth magic. Spiritual magic. Spirit communication. Secret art of revival. Arcane soul recall. Secret of faith and grace. Space spirit magic. Fire spirit magic. Wind spirit magic. Water spirit magic. Earth spirit magic. Necromancy. Summoning magic. Daemon summoning magic. Daemon summoning gate. Summon greater daemon. Summon lesser daemon. Elemental summoning magic. Summon greater fire elemental, Ifrit. Summon medium space elemental. Summon medium fire elemental, Salamander. Summon medium wind elemental. Summon medium water elemental. Summon medium earth elemental, Beast Gnome. Summon lesser space elemental. Summon lesser fire elemental. Summon lesser wind elemental. Summon lesser water elemental. Summon lesser earth elemental. Holy magic. Basic. Holy cannon, a focused beam of holy energy that rapidly purifies the magicules of a target. While a holy being or a being without magicules would simply be pushed by the shockwave, it's a surefire technique for killing monsters. Holy Bell, a wide-range wave of holy energy surges from the user, purifying a large amount of magicules, and destroying any lesser monsters. Holy Field, usually maintained by several magicians working in tandem, within the radius of the barrier, purification of all magicules commences. Lesser monsters are killed instantly, and any higher magical being is severely weakened. The barrier is even capable of preventing the use of regular magic and sealing the use of most skills. Prison Field, a much weaker version of Holy Field that weakens all monsters over a vast area and prevents escape. Heal ailments/recovery by utilizing holy energy. Wounds and diseases can be cured instantly, and at higher levels, even entire limbs and organs can be regenerated. Miracle. Disintegration: in a process similar to nuclear decay, spiritrons bombard the target and destroy them on a molecular level. Holy Ray: a large beam or ray of spiritrons shoots out from the user, bypassing all barriers and destroying the target. Resurrection: by utilizing spiritrons, the user is able to heal any wound and even bring back the recently deceased. Physics magic. Megiddo. A physically driven which uses spirit to form multiple, very large magnifying glass water constructs in the air, which are actually lesser water spirits transformed to suit the user's needs. This focuses the energy of the sun into a devastating heat beam capable of reaching thousands of degrees. The constructs disintegrate after use, but the energy needed to replace and maintain them is very little. Because they are clear, thin lenses of suspended water, the constructs are almost impossible to see. The size and number of lenses can be changed to varying effects, decimating 1,000 armored soldiers in a single shot to killing a single target instantly and without sound. By gathering water droplets from the water vapor in the atmosphere, in the shape of convex lenses in the sky, Rimuru condenses sunlight to the point where it becomes a massive laser beam, similar to using magnifying glass. The skill has low requirements: the water droplets can continually be replaced when they evaporate. The massive energy beam is a physical phenomenon, and therefore cannot be blocked by magic disrupting barriers. Argos. A variation of Megiddo that allows the user to observe almost anywhere on the planet, in real time, via a reflective satellite of water in space, and even enables the casting of Megiddo during night. Arts. Battle Will. Battle Will transforms the magicules of the user into fighting spirit, which enhances the user's physical form. This enhancement is independent from skills-based enhancements, so skill-based enhancements can be used alongside Battle Will. Model Will imbues an object with aura or magicules to enhance it. It can also be shot as very versatile projectiles, being able to, among other things, code a magic or skill attack within, which can either be used as a surprise attack or shield the attack from any anti-magic skills like magic interference. Form Hide enables one to hide one's presence. The art works in stages: first you rid yourself of any sound, then wipe away any smell and disguise your temperature, before finally wiping away your aura and spirit. At the highest level the user won't even disturb the surrounding magicules, rendering skills like Magic Sense moot. The only way to detect someone who's mastered Form Hide is through pure light waves or some form of extrasensory perception. Aura Slash. Magic Bullet. The user gathers their aura and surrounding magicules to form a dense ball of energy before firing at their target. One of the most basic arts but extremely versatile and scales to the user's power. Mystic Arts. Storm Break. Rimuru combines Veldora's storm magic with arts to coat his sword in devastating magic. It is based on Hinata's Melt Slash, and although the force behind it is much less, the powerful secondary effects make it just as deadly. Melt Slash. The user combines magic and arts by applying disintegration to their sword and launching themselves at the opponent at immense speeds. Other abilities. Master Swordsman. Rimuru is a master swordsman trained by Hakuru and further refined in his fight with Hinata. He was able to completely overwhelm Yuki Kagurazaka with pure skill. Rimuru's weapon of choice is a katana. Great Sage / Raphael prevents Rimuru's deep psyche from being interfered with, which blocks attempts to read his mind or memories even by beings such as true dragons. Special Soul. It has been stated that Rimuru's soul is extraordinarily strong on several occasions, this being the entire reason the primordial demons follow him, and according to Veldora, Rimuru is the only person to have ever reincarnated across worlds into a fully magic body while also retaining all his memories. Seal. In the events of Game's End, Seal obtained a significant amount of skills that would have otherwise have been in Rimuru's possession in order to increase their reaction time when using them in emergency situations. Due to the complete integration of their cores, Rimuru can still access and use these skills at will without having to create new copies. All of Creation. Analytical Appraisal. Attribute Conversion. Chant Annulment. Food Chain. Law Domination. Parallel Processing. Spiritual Domination. Synthesize / Separate. Thought Acceleration. Subordinate Skills. Skills gained via food chain and usable via law manipulation. Unique Skills. Cook, Cheyenne. Divine Berserker, Cheyenne. Generalissimo, Benimaru. Shadow Striker, Sui. Analyst, Shuna. Manufacturer, Shuna. Martial Master, Hakuru. Godly Craftsman, Kurobe. Magic Wolf King, Ranga. Magic Wolf Summon, Gobta. Tuner, Gabiru. Guardian, Geld. Gourmet, Geld. Tempter, Diablo. Reverser, Beretta. Extra Skills. Ultra Instinct. Thought Domination. Holy Demonic Reversal. Celestial Eye/Heaven Gaze. Flame Domination. Magic Burn. Identify Armor. Perfect Memory. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later, bye bye.